Take 4. Last try. After this, we're just going to, I don't know, like, just go get ice cream and cry or something. I don't know. All right, I'm not seeing anybody getting on. So, oh, there you are, Melissa. Let's see. Say prayers, guys. Oh, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes. You know, we went through so much to try to get this stinking broadcast together. So this is going to be the best for now.
Okay.
Hey, there you are. Okay, I can't believe
So, do I keep it sideways?
Are you sideways?
Do I have to keep it sideways?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to attempt
Yay!
Let me adjust my light. Hold on.
Okay. You're a little bit blown out. Okay, there you go. I can see your face.
Hi.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, you guys, thanks for joining us. And please feel free to ask questions and we'll answer what we can. But we've been planning this for a while. And just getting to it because it's mascara life is kind of crazy, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so we kind of talked about it, but I am really grateful. Thank you so much, Melissa, for being my guest, guest of honor here. And we both have backgrounds in makeup artistry and with mascara, and so I'm just gonna just go over mine a little bit, and then I'd love for you to do yours. Okay, I'm just gonna lift this a little bit. Okay, so I have been a makeup artist for a long time. I actually did get some training at Paul Mitchell, but honestly, it's mostly come from just always loving makeup and always doing it. And I think that's pretty similar with Melissa, right? It's just always been that thing. It's felt like my art to me, and I've always loved that.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's that canvas of the face that I've always enjoyed so much. And
hi, Jasmine.
What'd you say?
Sorry, I was saying hi.
Oh, you're saying hi? Okay, yeah. I see Diana. That's all I see so far.
Okay.
So yeah, and then when mascara makeup came along, it actually, I don't know how it was for you, but it took me a while. Like I remember when I first got my first palette, I was thinking like, okay, but where's the foundation? What foundation do you use? And I kept asking Kara that, like, on social media, like, so what foundation do you use? Like, because your makeup looks so good, so I just want to know which foundation it is. And then finally, I got the answer back, no foundation, sweetheart. And I'm like, okay. So then I tried to use it by itself, and the first color that I had was way too light. It was way too dark, because I'm just very fair normally. I'm not right now. But normally I'm very fair, and I had some troubles with the first palette. They only had 3 colors, so it was light, and it was just not light enough for me. So I still used the contour, though, because I loved the contour, and it was just so taupe-y color, and I was just like, no other contour is taupe, and it always looked dirty no matter what I did. So then when I moved into the color that she came out with, the second generation was linen. And linen was still a little bit not the right color for me.
Yeah, that's what I use.
What'd you say?
I used linen as well at first.
Yeah. And it was still a little bit wrong. It was still a little bit, I don't know. I'm just so fair. So then she had Moonlit and White Peach. And I had trouble again because Moonlit matched my neck, but White Peach was great in the triangle. And so it covered up. I have pretty dark circles. It covered that up great, and it matched so nicely, and the texture was beautiful. But the Moonlit was perfect and it matched better. And I never thought, like, duh, I could put 2 colors on my face.
Yes.
Like, it took me a while to realize, like, and I just kept thinking, like, this is a full foundation, and it's just, I just don't have a color for me. I never considered the possibility of doing, you know, 2 different colors, hello, because I was already doing 2 different colors, and it was just, it blew my mind. So once I finally wrapped my brain around it and had that aha, it's just become, I could never use anything else. And it's so genius. And I really just want to share that with everybody else, all of the feels that I have for how great the product is. So anyway, so without further ado, thank you, Melissa, so much for doing this with me. It's kind of a dream come true because she's so good at this stuff. So go ahead, spill your guts about your story.
Well, I am also a professional makeup artist, and I've been in the beauty world for a little over 10 years. And really, my passion for makeup artistry really developed in the last 6 years or so.
Yeah.
And I just love the community that of women that it has brought into my life, and the beautiful faces that I get to work with and see all the time. And so I've also followed Kara's blog forever since the beginning and used the product on myself and on my clients for years. And so when the opportunity to sign up as an artist came, of course, I just jumped on it because I love the product, and I think it just is genius because it is so fast and so easy. But the reason we're doing this video today is just to kind of talk a little bit about color matching and why, what you want to look for and how it looks on the skin, because you want it to look like skin and not like makeup. You want it to give you that glow. So neither of us are wearing any makeup on our face right now, right, Louisa?
No, we just have brows and
okay, yeah,
and a
brows, and I have a little eyeshadow and mascara on. So
no, I'm not wearing anything besides a little bit of smudgy mascara and some brows.
Yeah.
My mascara is smudgy.
Right. So where do you want me to start? What do we want to start with?
I don't know. Someone dug into my makeup palette. I just want you guys
to know.
I don't know who it was, but they're in trouble. Okay, so we've had a lot of discussions about this, Melissa and I have, and just kind of how we were going to share and what we wanted to say. And we've been going over and meaning to do this for the longest time. So I think what I want to start with is just, you know, everyone wants to know how to make up, or how to color match. You know, what do you do? You're there, the person's in the chair. How do you decide? Long distance color matching is something that comes with putting enough on other people that you know what you're looking for. Long distance color matching is hard. That's not something that I feel like I can teach you without first having had you master putting it on other people's faces. It's just tricky, and you can just kind of, you know, the biggest thing about long distance color matching is that you are really, not only is it hard because you're guessing and you don't know what the person looks like truly, the other hard part is that then you're expecting them to know how to put the makeup on, and that's really hard also. So you have to be coaching them through that. So the biggest thing that I see, and I want to be just frank about like some oopsies that I see a lot, and maybe some things where it's just really hard to just know. And so you guys are welcome to throw out some questions if you want to. But I mean, honestly, I've done a lot of these now where we've done color matching. So the biggest thing is that when it comes to mascara, we're talking lighter or brighter, you know, and people, or lighter or darker. Everyone wants to know lighter and darker. Well, that's the darker shade, you know, that's the dark one. Yes, you know, truly they are lighter and darker, some, but not, that's really not what we're going for. You are not matching. You are not actually, it should be not called color matching, because you're not matching. It is not about the match. And once you like can get that in your brain, it's like, okay, this is not about a match. Even my journey with the white peach moonlit incident where I finally ended up putting Moonlit here and White Peach here, I eventually started putting Sunlit under my eyes. And that was very hard for me because Sunlit goes on tan girls. And I am not tan, not naturally. And naturally, I look like Melissa. So it was really hard for me because I was just like, what? But it's not about lighter, darker. It is just not. So like, take that out of your brains for starters.
Yeah. So do you want to start with showing what is too light, and maybe I'll show what I think is
yeah, do we want to put like wrong? Well, yeah, let's start with like light as opposed to matching. So let's both put on something that we think is going to match, but then something, you know, then we want to go over something that's going to be brighter on the other side. So I would say with my skin tone, something that's going to match me is going to look like, it's probably be Aura. What you think? Like maybe Aura would be a good one?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do Aura here.
Sorry, my light is kind of blown out right now, so I'm trying to get.
Okay. So I'm going to go Aura here in my triangle, and that matches pretty good. It disguises redness.
Mm-hmm.
And it blends.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
So same thing with me. I put White Peach on because I think that it matches pretty well. It's usually the right tone for me. I'm pretty fair. And that's
yeah,
what
I mean, that looks like good foundation, I feel like, you know?
Yeah.
So then if you're going to do something, okay, well, let's just do foundation all over your face, but that's really not the point. So then if I do something like Sunlit, where I'm going to come in and put that, and I'm just tapping, you guys, just a tiny little bit, really. I'm mostly like stippling it on and then smoothing it with the brush strokes. Suddenly, and I've got my thing here, suddenly this is like so much lighter, brighter. I don't know if that's really showing through, but this area, instead of this one here, is matchy, right? And then right here I have such a light, bright, not light, I have such a bright look. What are you doing, Melissa?
So I'm showing kind of the opposite.
Okay.
On my where this is going to start to look really yellow. So
yeah,
so how well you can see, but instead
my
of bright,
screen went kind of dark, so you're fine. It's my screen.
Oh,
so.
So right, so this side looks really yellow, and I don't know how well you can see in the light, but when I get up close, it looks like makeup on my skin. So
right,
kind of accentuating texture. It just looks like makeup, even if I blend it out really well. Especially on camera, and I see this a lot with other pictures that I see where in one light it might look okay, but you get on camera and all you see is this yellow tone, and so that's not what you want either.
Look how much like more like lifted this eye looks. I feel like it looks so much more lifted than the other one, and that's because I matched on this side. I went brighter on this side, so I did Aura here and Sunlit here. And it's hard because, you know, lots of times we can say, oh, it has that yellow look. You have more of an orangey texture is what yours kind of ended up doing, and that's right there.
Right. Not a pretty yellow. It was actually orange.
Like so, right. That's orange, like a dirty look. That's not the look we're going for. So this is the other thing now when it comes to color matching that I think we all do, and that, or not we all do, but we all come across, is the girl who wants to look darker. Yeah. And that is hard because, you know, she's going to ask you for a darker color. But truly, this is what you're going to end up looking like. Okay, so I'm pretty I'm pretty orangey right now. So why don't I go for, I don't know, let's see what I could pull off as a match. You think I should do, what should I do? Should I do like wheat?
Yeah, amber or wheat.
Okay, and I'm going to throw on a full face just really fast because,
Okay.
or I can even just do it on one side. Because this wheat, oh, hey, look, that matches, you know? And so I'm going to go in with wheat, and I'm going to come down here because I'm pretty tan right now. And is that enough, Melissa? Does that make sense?
It's sad when pretty tan is like still one
It's as white as I am.
Me too.
I'm so tan right now.
As tan as I'm gonna get.
I know. When I use the darkest level too. Okay. So this is a very common look that I see in the makeup world that we do, where we say, hey, you know what? Like this, I can even go even darker. So I really like that tan look. I'm going to go in with wheat, and there really isn't, it's kind of texture. You can see the texture and it looks makeup-y.
Right. But it's
and now my whole face is a different color than my neck. And but you know what? It matches my neck, or it matches my face color. So,
and it's so common. I see, like, I feel like every Instagram video I watch, they just cover their face. And
let's cover your whole face. And I want to look tan, so I'm just gonna do whatever color,
rather than bringing in that dimension.
Right. So this is me with wheat. It's not, I mean, it matched my face.
It's not terrible.
But now look what it's done to my neck. Like, yes, I look bright. I look super illuminated. Sorry, I don't even have any blush on. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, me either.
It's actually, if you're just looking at my face, it's actually really pretty, I feel like.
Yes, Diana.
Okay, so there you go. It looks nice, but look at my neck. Like, it's not even the same color close at all. So, and it makes it look like there's too much. If I'm going to hold up my here so that you can really look and see, like, it looks like it's too much on my face. And just because it matches my face, there has to be some place where on your face where it matches your neck. And even if it's just right here, or it's just right here, or it's even if the contour is just the one that matches your neck, it has to pull in. And I see this so often. It's the floating head look, because we want to be darker and we're getting more tan. And so it's just like, well, hey, let's put on a shade that, you know, I can work with this. I can wear it. But it doesn't match at all. And that is really common. It's really, really, really common. Like you said, it's a trap. It's a trap, because it really is beautiful makeup. And, you know, putting on wheat is great, but you know what? That's not, that's a really hard thing, because a lot of people want to go darker with it, and they want to just really feel like, there you go. Yeah, see, it just doesn't even, look how fair this is right here even. And it's just two different colors. And even this right here is two different colors. So that's just too dark.
It just looks, even on camera, it's more makeup than you need, and it looks makeup-y. It looks cakey.
Yes. Perfect.
I mean, you have beautiful skin. You don't need that much coverage. So I just personally, and those of you that are my clients, you'll you hear me say this all the time, that I love to see your skin. I love to see freckles, and I love to see, you can still do a fuller coverage, but have it still look like makeup. So
okay, so, and this is the hugest, like, that we were talking even before. This is the point that I cannot emphasize enough, that the you know, I'm having trouble, none of the colors match me. I'm having trouble because the makeup looks cakey. I'm having trouble because it's sliding off. It's too bright and looks slick. I'm having trouble because on and on and on and on and on. You're putting too much on. You're putting too much on. You're putting too much on. It's just too much makeup. You know, I spread this all over my face, whereas instead, let me do with a right color, right amount. And I actually did not even use that much, but a right amount is going to look something like, let's see, I'm going to go in with my Sunlit here. It's going to look like that much for all of that triangle area. And that's just a teeny tiny bit. And it's not, okay, because then what you're going to do is you're going to take it. The point of this highly pigmented makeup is that you don't have to have a lot. And that is like, you guys, once you figure that out, that is the key. Okay, that's fine. That is like absolutely the key to using this makeup and to figuring it out, is that just a little tiny bit goes a very long way. You're not trying to cover up this whole, your whole face with this makeup. It still is going to cover everything. It's still going to, I mean, that's just a teeny tiny amount that I did there. It still looks great. I'm going to come down and do, sorry, I got to get some of that wheat off. I'm going to do my jawline here with some Sunlit. You know, and this is one little dab that I did, and I'm just swiping it. That's what's going to give that no makeup on look. And look at how much more, even without the contour, how much more slender and unmakeuped. Oh, yay!
you're welcome.
Oh, Melissa, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We tried. We did. Okay, I'm just going over the fact that, like, I'm just touching. Let me show you here. Okay, here's my Sunlit. Touch. Plenty.
Yes, yes, yes.
Plenty. Plenty of makeup. Oh, you don't want to see mine right now. He's a teasing monster.
Yeah, he is. He's probably going to start talking to you, so I may have to put him down.
It's
yeah,
okay.
I love Sunlit also, so I'm going in and putting it. So it's another example of how multiple colors can work on different skin tones as well. So Sunlit is kind of a chameleon in that people are really scared of it because of how yellow it looks in the pan. But it's really beautiful, and just it really gives that glow, that triangle that we want to see, that triangle of light under the eye. But it's also a good example of how you can use two tones. So I don't know if you already said that, Louisa, that.
No. Well, I mean, we talked about the two tones, but something that, like, our whole team hit last month was that, you know, we sit there and we talk about having, like, kind of missing that glow, and that's why I went ahead and just took that leap and stuck Sunlit on my face, and, you know, had the revelation. Because the thing is that people don't, the trick with Sunlit is that it is a chameleon. It doesn't have that base that a lot of the other ones have. For instance, if you look at these, you have, like, these two here, Moonlit and Sunlit, do not really have a neutral base.
Right.
I feel like White Peach has more of that orange base, as does Amber, and then you have Wheat and Aura, and they have more of a neutral base. And so that's kind of the undertone of it, and it doesn't really, that's going to give it more more of a need to match. But when it comes to sunlit and moonlit, that's why, you know, Kara, as dark as she is, can wear moonlit under her eyes, because it doesn't really have a base, and neither does sunlit. And so sunlit, you can really wear it as, and for a lot of people. And so me wearing it as my highlight color is confusing, but people are missing out on that beautiful glow that sunlit has to offer, because they think that people are too light for it. And they're not. You've got to try it out. If you haven't yet, and you're fair and you're just saying, I'm not getting that glow, then really what you're missing out on is just try that sunlight. And I mean, the first time I put it on, it was like, oh my gosh, this is yellow. And I brought it down here and it was too yellow. So I wear moonlit regularly when I'm not spray tanning. Hi, Whitney. I wear moonlit on my jawline, because then my jawline matches my neck. You have to have that. You have to have that. Yes. Okay, so here I'm going to stand back, and I have all this makeup. Look, it looks just like makeup. So much makeup, because I have wheat on this side, which again, it matched okay. I could put it on my face. I could go that dark, but the wheat is just, it looks heavy and makeup-y. And then over here, oh, I don't even have my blush on. Hang on. Gotta get that blush. I left all my blushes downstairs, so it's nude only for me. Which, sorry, it's just what I always wear anyway, so what's the difference? Okay, so instead here I have such a nice glow, and it looks, let's see, I held my hands up like this before. Such a glow right here, as opposed to the floating head look over here, where it's just too dark. And you know what? It looks pretty. It doesn't look bad, I feel like.
Right, but you want to find the right one. And that's how with mine, I had put the moonlit on earlier under my eye. A lot of people like to brighten here. Yeah. Yeah, your hair looks amazing, Louisa. But you can see it if I get really close, where that just starts to look kind of textury. Like I can see some little baby
kind of like there. Those little like chicken skin. The chicken skin look, that's the wrong color. Dry, you put it on and it looks really dry.
Yeah, it kind of accentuates the dryness that I have right there. And it's just not, it washes me out on that side instead of, so if I go and I take Aura on this side, it has just enough of that warmer tone to just counteract any of the purpley.
Yeah, it has that
deprived circles there. So that it looks brightened, but it doesn't look ashen on my skin right there. So again, this isn't horrible. I don't have a ring light like you, Louisa, so I can't see that detail, but
we're getting you a ring light. Okay.
A lot of people want to brighten there under their eye, and so they go way, way, way lighter than the rest of their skin, and it can cause that reverse, just white circles around your eye, and that's not natural either. So
that is a classic look where you're trying to give brightness to the under eye, and all that you've done is it looks so white under the eye. Yeah. That white brings forward and dark pushes back, and so your under eye is like high, and it's going to look terrible in pictures. It's going to look so obvious especially from further away. I'm going to come in. I'm going to put like moonlit on me like I normally would, so you guys can see what the texture will look like. But before I do that, I just want to go over again. I have wheat on this side and I have sunlit on this side, and it's like this side. It looks like I have some nice makeup on. I feel like it looks nice, but it's too dark and it's too heavy, and wheat is not my color. And wheat is actually reserved for pretty dark people. And I think that usually it's going to be great for someone with a lot of pigment, But just because you are someone without a whole lot of pigment and you've gotten a tan, it doesn't mean that wheat's going to be the one for you.
Right. Yeah. It can be really dirty and muddy really fast.
And it gives you the standard makeup look of dark face.
Bless you.
Sorry. It gives you that standard makeup face of too much makeup, wrong shade here. And this one right here, if you look here, this is just bright. It's so fresh. Like, I feel like it looks so fresh. It looks very second skin. You know, getting in here, it's just bright. It doesn't even look like I have that contour there, as opposed to this side. So it matches and it looks really great. So don't fall into the trap of wanting a darker shade. And so therefore you put on one because like, oh, I can wear it, you know, and it's just it doesn't look right. And that's not what mascara makeup is all about. Right. I'm going to take off my wheat side here.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to mention about what you said about the darker shades. I know we're all really excited because we have some darker shades of foundation, of highlight foundation coming out soon for our darker skinned ladies. But we do want to touch on how, like you said, wheat and mango are our darkest shades right now. They really can work for darker skinned ladies, women of color.
Yeah, people are missing out. In my opinion, people are missing out in not putting that on darker skin because they feel like, well, it looks very pasty and it's not. Oh, it doesn't match her.
Well, right, and it can. It's typically not the darkest skin tones like we have more of here in the South. But it really is meant to be a highlight. So we just, again, I think sometimes we forget that it's not meant to cover the whole face and match the whole face perfectly. It's meant to brighten. It's meant to conceal under eye. It's meant to really brighten.
Yeah, highlight. And that's, again, this is like when Kara came out with it, I think people were surprised because she said, you know, this should cover pretty much a lot of dark skin, you know, and this will cover a lot of dark skin.
Right.
It's very difficult to highlight and contour very black, you know, like, I mean, just when you go super dark, it's very hard to highlight and contour, and you're more going to use the illuminator and maybe the contour for it. But you're more going to use illuminator. The thing is that it really does. I mean, you're going to just go in the triangle and you're just going to just get a little tiny bit. This goes right back to what I was saying of you're using too much. You're using it like a foundation. You're putting it all over their face. And yeah, it doesn't match because it's not meant to be a foundation like that. And you can't see, like, you know, I wish you had one of those screens where you can just see what's on the face. If you saw what was actually on the face of someone who's been properly highlighted and contoured with mascara foundation, you know, you'll have a couple of concentrated areas, but really what it's meant to do is to just, like, you're going to touch it out and it's just going to kind of gently, like if I had my detail hack here, I mean, I would be taking about this much of my sunlit, and that's enough to highlight these areas. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, can people even, that's really actually about it plenty. And I went over this one time when I was in Utah. So people have heard this spiel before, but the first time that after I become an artist, the first time that I had sent someone makeup and they had tried it before I'd actually applied it on their face, she came to me and was like, well, she didn't come to me. She just said, you need to come over. Like, I don't know what I did wrong. And I went over and I looked at her and I didn't know what she did wrong either. I was just like, what is going on with your face? We both just laughed about it because it was confusing to me and it was confusing to her. And I talked to Kara about it and everything. And I mean, truly what had gone wrong was that she had put too much on. She had the detail hack brush. And so she had applied it like a paintbrush.
Right.
And then she applied like a paintbrush, and then she'd taken this end and she went like this and blended it. So not only did she kind of like turn it into like a floor buffer and it just like had this incredible aura, she also had put way too much on, and that's going to give that shiny, it's going to fall off right away. It's too much. And I think that is just a huge mistake that we make.
Right.
And discounting the ability for this makeup to really have so much pigment. I mean, this is really, I think this is plenty. What do you think, Melissa?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'm just going to come in with a little bit of blush. So let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to be the hack girl for a minute, the hack symbol girl. That's really plenty. And this makeup just has such amazing coverage, and we want it to go on everything, everywhere. And that's where I missed out for a long time, because I thought it just needed to go everywhere. And, you can't have like spaces between and all that stuff. So now
just gonna blend it.
I like that. I need to take a screenshot of this. Except for when I do that, you have to take the screenshot. When I do that, it blows out my camera.
Let me try. My phone's dying, so if
no.
If it dies, I'm sorry. Okay, I think I got one.
Oh no, I think your phone died. Okay. Maybe she'll join us back when it gets undead. Okay, so she's gonna be sad that she froze that way. So I'm gonna go in just a little bit with just this little tiny bit of nose contour. And okay, there we go. So I'm gonna go in with this little bit of nose contour here, and now I've got all of my makeup on, plenty for what I need it for. Sorry, I'm taking a screenshot. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna blend. With my perfector. It's okay. Charge it up. Come back. This is so cool. Wow, I just did that whole face with just all those little stripes. Okay, so it truly is like if you look at the that hack symbol, I mean, it really is real. And I'm going to put a little bit more blush on, because I always tend to blend my blush away, and I like a little bit more. But if you look at that hack symbol, it really is. Okay, you got it. What else do I need to include, Melissa? Anything else that you have written down? So there you go. So now I have my whole face done in Sunlit, and that's plenty. I mean, I look pretty even. I would probably go in a little bit more just because I like a little bit more of a dramatic contour there. And there you go. So, I mean, how much, tiny bit amount, that really gives me that second skin look. I just blended it with my perfector. I can't stress enough that this is what the makeup is intended for. If you're putting too much on, or if you're running out of it fast, like you're putting too much on. If you're feeling like it's sliding off, you're putting too much on. So really, to kind of summarize it all, like, that is the key point here for starters, is the darkness to lightness factor. It doesn't really exist with this makeup. It's all about what's brighter. The second big trap is doing too dark of your foundation, not having something that really matches from your neck and, you know, all that area there to have that brightness. But you have to have something that matches. I'm going to step back so everybody can see kind of a little bit better. And then also, putting too much on is super huge. That is another huge problem, is just, that's why you're finding, oh, nothing matches with, you know, darker skin, and I'm having that issue. You know, I can't find something for someone who's darker skin tone because it's not matching. Okay, so I'm going to just go over lastly here. I'm going to show Moonlit. Too light of an area. And just what it looks like when you're really looking for, when you're really seeing that someone has the wrong color on. When it comes to a lighter shade or to lighter shades, because usually the darker shades don't tend to do this as much. Okay, so suddenly this side is very flat, as you can see, and if I go up in here, it does have that ghostly look, and I don't know how much you can see, but you can see every pore. Like, every pore is accentuated. My skin looks dry. It looks very sallow. You can see my under eye, and I put a lot on, you know, to really give it that coverage, right? And so we're trying to go for more coverage here. So then I'm putting more on to try to really cover up my under eye. And now the makeup is extremely cakey. It's very bare. It's very obvious, as opposed to this side, which is just fresh and really doing what mascara was intended to do. Clearly, Moonlit's too light for my skin, but even with that blending, my skin looks very crepey right here, and it has that chicken skin look. It doesn't give me the second skin look that we're going for. And it's going to say, you know, you'll put it on and you'll think, gosh, this girl needs to exfoliate or something like that. And that's really the issue, is it's just the wrong color. Okay, so I think we pretty much covered everything, especially the basics. Thank you, Melissa. I'm sorry, fallen soldier, everyone. Try to go do the mama thing. But there you go. I'm just going to complete this again by putting back on just a tiny bit, just to reiterate this. Anybody have any questions or any of your little things you've gone over that you found? Please feel free to post them. But again, I'm just doing a very light amount. I mean, that's 2 swipes for that sunlit. And then going back in. That blender sponge is really what's going to, the perfector is really what's going to blend it out super nicely when you're doing just a teeny tiny amount. It's really making it so so much more what this makeup is supposed to do, is have that really just a small amount. We really don't want to put it on super heavy. Sometimes when you're baking, I can see you going heavier with it. But even when you're doing, even when you have someone with acne, you're not going to go super heavy on them just because you want more coverage. You're going to go light coverage and spot treat. So really just keeping all that in mind, lighter coverage, brighter makeup. You're not trying to match. You're trying to brighten. That's what mascara is all about. And I'm just going to pop some illuminator on. Just right in here. I think it's really, I think as makeup artists, it's really addicting to want to kind of try all the colors. I know for me it is, and so I want to wear darker colors. I'm like, oh, I like that. I want to be able to wear this and that. Like, it's just easy to want to do that, but you're making a mistake because you're going to really miss out on what mascara has to offer as far as full coverage with hardly any makeup. You really shouldn't be going through it fast, and then having the ability to do two different tones, because one is going to match a little bit better. So if you're finding that maybe it looks like Sunlit is the color for them, but it's not matching on their neck, or it's not matching their neck, then maybe you need to put in amber right here on the jawline. Maybe you need to do it in the reverse, where if Sunlit's looking super patchy up here, and then but they need to be a little bit darker, a little bit lighter. They need to match their neck a little bit lighter. So Sunlit matches their neck, but it looks patchy and it looks textured and all those things that indicates the wrong color. And maybe you need to put amber up here and Sunlit down here, so that way this place matches. Okay. I think I pretty much covered everything. I'm sorry, this was kind of disorganized. I feel like I was kind of just all over the place, but thank you guys again for watching. Don't be afraid to try out multiple combinations. There's so many different combinations, and that's going to give you the ability to help walk people through it, especially someone who is long distance and they're saying, I'm putting on Sunlit like you matched me with, and you can see that it matches, but she says it's looking patchy or it's falling off or something. Then okay, well let's give you some amber or some white peach or something like that, or even for me, Moonlit and Sunlit. Let's give you some of that. And then another thing is that I didn't touch on too is under eye area. Moonlit and Sunlit are great ones for throwing on in the under eye area. After you've done a nice layer, just a very, small layer on your whole face, if you feel like you've got the right colors, but you're not getting that pop that you really want, throw a little bit of Moonlit over in the triangle of light here, just a little bit. You really don't want to be doing layers. Sometimes we want to disguise different things, and so people will say, well, like, just try doing a layer of this first and then a layer of that. When you're getting those layers, the makeup's going to fall off faster. It's going to look patchy. It's going to, even someone who has an incredible amount of redness, just because it's really dark red, it doesn't, and their neck is very light. Try putting on something like, white peach or a lighter color like that and see, because it really can disguise all of that redness. You don't have to jump to amber just because they have all this red, and amber is great for pigmentation issues, and it's really good for redness. It's really, really good for redness, but putting on a layer of amber first and then going to the lighter color to match their neck is just going to create a lot of cake. So try putting on that lighter color. And then if you have some issues with the skin not matching the neck, remember that we have Tomas on our side for that you can spray a little bit of that. If the face is extremely light, the neck is extremely dark, you can always just spray a little layer of that. You also can bring some of the highlight down onto the neck if the neck is extremely pigmented, and to disguise some of that pigment. And another thing that you can do is, don't forget we have bronzer, and bronzer can help out with a darker face, lighter neck issue as well. So, I mean, truly, there's so many options, and I know that's hard, is that you want to be able to really narrow it in, and it just seems like it's super overcomplicated. But it really is about, there's a lot of options, but it's about keeping it simple. Small amount of makeup, small amount of blending, going in there. And I also went over this. I had a girl in Utah who, wanted it really light, or sorry, wanted to be darker. And so I went and I gave her something that matched her skin tone. And then, so we put on something pretty light on her skin, because you want to still keep these areas bright. Just because you want to look tan, that's great, but you need to tan your face then, or you need to get the tan all in here and cover with a little bit of bronzer. You still have to match the face or brighten up the face there if you want to have that mascara glow. You can't go for that dark look and expect to have the pop that you are looking for. And we all know someone who really wants to look tan, and so they put something really dark on, and that's just a classic makeup look. It's not the mascara look. So, all right. Thanks again, you guys, so much. And sorry for all the technical difficulties that we had. And thank you so much, Melissa. And I will talk to you all again soon. Drop some questions below. And thanks again for watching.